today. So today I'm going to do another segment because I have thoughts in my head today. This segment is going to be called My Two Cents. So today I wanted to talk about just some things that happened over the week, some like current event type stuff, and I don't have someone with me, but I am going to mention some things and then I'm going to touch on those things only because I just want to leave you with some thoughts. So the first thing on my mind is the Oscars. I know there's tons of people out there who were watching the Oscars and saw the reaction that Will Smith had to Chris Rock's joke. Now, me personally, I thought it was scripted. I did not expect for it to be real, only because it's Hollywood, and we've had numerous things happen like that before where things are scripted and they say things and they do things and we think it's real, but it's not. So my first thought was it was not real. My questions were, where was security? And why did Chris Rock just react so nonchalant about it and didn't, react angry? And then my second question was, is he going to press charges? Because no one talked about it for a while. But today I got to hear about them talking about it and talking about pressing charges and how Chris Rock said that he was not going to press charges against Will Smith. Now, there was a debate on that because they wanted to talk about whether or not he wanted him removed from the Oscars. I don't know if that's all the way real, though, because like I said, the reactions, and if it was real, I mean, I give it to Chris Rock because he did not react with violence. There was a comment that was made on someone's video where this person specifically said Will Smith's character would have pulled him aside and talked to him and all that. So the violence wasn't necessary. The hitting, the smacking, or whatever he did. I know a lot of people expect better out of them because they did talks and shows and all kinds of stuff where as a couple they came out and talked about their issues and all that. But I mean, the man's a man. He's human. He has a reaction. Then there's other people that talk about his reaction being laughter. He laughed at the joke first and then he reacted. Whether or not it was a true reaction, the man did what he did. He smacked Chris Rock. And then went and sat down and told him to shut up. So whether it was scripted or real, he still did it. I think there should have been repercussions for that because giving him an Oscars wasn't like the greatest thing right after he hit someone. Anybody else would have gotten hit. I'm pretty sure they would have sought legal action from Will Smith. But that was just my opinion, my 2 cents on that. I'm going to go ahead and move on from the Oscars to immigration. I was watching an interview where they interviewed this woman. I believe her name was, let me look at my notes here. I believe her name was Maria Salazar, and she was in charge of District 27. Yeah, so Maria Salazar in charge of District 27. Now, the interview was done by, what was his name? Turk. I believe it's Turk and Ross, or something like that. Anyways, she was being interviewed, and they were asking her a bunch of questions of what was her opinion on the things that are happening in Ukraine and Russia. And she clearly said she supported everything against Russia. I feel like this lady was trying to help us out, the Hispanic community and immigrants, especially the people who are undocumented and don't have papers here. She was trying to help us out, but she did not sound like she knew what she was talking about. And they kept asking, did she think that we should agree to the no-flight zone? Or should we give them a no-flight zone? Or what was her opinion on that whole situation in Ukraine? And she failed to talk about the things that really are going on. She kept on talking about her Dignity Act. And she explained about the Dignity Act and what she plans on doing with that. Nothing about Ukraine and their immigrants. And so I decided I want to talk about it because I wanted to let people know. Not only is this lady in charge of District 27 and she's working on the Dignity Act, but the way she presented herself, she didn't know what really was happening. And now we're having people from Ukraine tell other people from Ukraine that they can fly into Mexico and cross the Mexican border. Now, I mean, people can do that, but Ukraine, or the people from Ukraine, are going to Mexico and they're trying to cross the Mexican border, and they're appalled or upset or angry because of what's happening at the border. So it's sad to say, people from Ukraine, you are still going to get treated like Mexicans when you go to Mexico because you're going to cross the Mexican border. You don't get to just go to Mexico, be a refugee, and then get asylum from the border because they're going to treat you like you're coming from Mexico. So that's what I feel like she should have addressed, because that's actually happening. And I don't know what you're doing about it. The man that was interviewing her asked her a question: should we send our troops to the border because of the crisis that's going on in the border? And she said no. Then he asked her if we should send troops to defend Ukraine, and she said yes. Now that's a little ironic, don't you think? Because we have a crisis going on at the border because of the situation that Ukraine is in right now. That actually causes everybody else to also fall in line and feel the pressure of the crisis. And not only that, but there's also other immigrants who are in the system waiting to finalize their own documents that are now being pushed to the back of the line because now we have yet another crisis within these last 10 years. So not only did we have the caravan, we had the children that came, we had the Haitians, and then now we have Ukraine. So what does that mean for all the people that have been in the United States for the last 20 years waiting on documents? What does that mean, Miss Salazar, who's in charge of District 27? I wish they would address these issues for us, because we're still in the United States and we're still trying to do the right thing, and we're still trying to follow the rules and the laws that you guys passed previous to these circumstances and situations. So that was my conversation about Miss Salazar. She also stated that we should not take away any flight zones from Ukraine, which I guess maybe that goes in hand with the question previously asked. But yeah, like I said, she didn't really address anything that I feel like she should have addressed. Now, I'm going to move from that to what is going on in Ukraine. Well, they're still, like I said, discussing the no-flight zones. And because of this stuff that's going on in Ukraine, we have to think about everything that's going up in price. I mean, we got to live through this, right? We're doing it right now. So we've got the food that's going up. We've got the gas that's going up. We've got the cars that are going up. I mean, everything's going up. It's called inflation. To me, it's pretty crazy that we're having to live this and there's really nothing we can do about it. And the reason why I'm choosing to talk about it is because this was actually talked about a very long time ago. So about 20 years ago, we talked about the prices of oil going up, inflation going up, the prices of the cost of living going up. We also talked about what would happen if we just ran out of food. Now, those were just things that we talked about briefly and we touched over within the last 20 years, but we never took it serious until now. Nobody dares to say that we're having war right now or that we're at war. Everybody wants to say we're just backing up a certain place in the world and we're going to be there to protect them or help them against Russia. To me, it seems like they're afraid to just declare war. But we are at war right now. If we have troops over there or if we are in their business in any way, shape, or form, we are part of what is going on right now in Ukraine. So, why are we still believing our government when they tell us that we are not at war? Yeah. So, that leads me to President Biden. I've had so many people talk to me about being a Democrat, and I watched a few videos today of women saying that they are not going to be Democrats anymore. That kind of threw me for a loop because I wasn't sure why they were saying that until I watched another video and I did a little bit more research. So the thing is this, you have a situation that occurred with women's athletic teams. Apparently there was a race, a swim race or something, that there was a man swimming or racing, a transgender, and he won or she won. I don't even know how to talk about this. This is how confusing and hard this is. And I know a lot of people are going to watch this video, but I want them to see how hard it is for us to be able to address what's going on because we're confused. We don't know. I don't know. I'm not ignorant. I have a lot of friends that are from the LGBTQ community, but this particular situation I felt like was unfair. So you had a transgender man that turned himself into a woman and he competed in a woman's national swim meet or swim, race, whatever, swim competition. The person won against the women. Now there's a big old irate reaction to that. And there should be. There should be. There's controversy, there's conversation right now about that. There should be. I've been talking about this particular subject since Kate Jenner won the Women's Award. And for me, this is a very touchy subject because I am a woman. And I don't know how other people are going by their own opinions and their own beliefs and their own stuff in describing a woman, but I am a woman. I was born woman, I was born female, I kept myself as a female, I'm still a female. Not only am I a female and a woman, but I carry myself like such, and I try to be a lady, even though sometimes it just doesn't happen. But I'm saying all that to say, I know, I know what a woman is. I don't need to be a biologist. I don't need to be no professional nothing to know what a woman is, because I know I am a woman. So it saddens me to see women say that they are now going to be Democrats because of the situations that are occurring with that party. I'm not going to sit here and name all the situations, so take the time out to inform yourself what your party is doing. If you are a Democrat, figure out what they are passing, what they are putting forth before office or Congress. Figure out what they're standing for and who they're supporting, who's supporting them, who's backing them up. Figure it out, because when you start to see it and it starts coming out, or the laws start to change, you will be lost. A lot of these women do not want to be Democrats because of the fact that they're passing laws and they're approving, I guess they're allowing people to change themselves in a way that is just it's a little unorthodox, like it's just not really backing us up as women. I understand that. um and it's a little scary because now you have men that can change into women. It's not just a process now, like it doesn't take years and years, and I'm not saying it should take years and years and years and years, but where do you draw that line for those that are born naturally this way, and still choose to hold that? Like some of these things kind of cross that line, and it spills over into other things. So like not only are we arguing about, should that person have won that race, even though physically it was very unfair to those ladies, those women. Because that, when I saw the picture, I was like, wow, this big, giant, tall man, but again, let's go back to Kate Jenner, won the Best Woman of the Year award. When that happened, I already knew, like this is just going to keep going and going and going and going. And I'm not trying to insult anyone, but that was insulting in itself. I understand recognizing an achievement that couldn't have been accomplished. I understand that completely. What I don't understand is not recognizing that in its original form, or for the actual true or correct or right person. You don't give a woman award to a person that changed themselves to be a woman. I feel like that was wrong. You should have given that award to a real natural born woman. That was just my honest opinion on that Kate Jenner thing. Like, that was completely a slap in my face. I was born a woman. I lived a woman. All my accomplishments came as a woman. I didn't change myself to be a woman later or before or during, nothing. Like, I did it straight from the moment I took a breath till now. So that award back then, that was just slap in my face. Shouldn't have happened. This award that this man won or this woman won in this swim meet or swim race or whatnot, that shouldn't have been allowed. If you want to allow competition between transgenders, then that's fine, because you have different sizes, different weights, different classes, different all of that. Put them all together. But for you to allow a transgender woman to compete with a real woman, I don't think that's fair at all. Not at all. Because again, They chose to change their outer appearance for this particular thing, or not even for the race, but I'm saying like they changed, period, for themselves, not for anything else. But for you to allow the competition to still happen, it just seems unfair, really unfair. It'd be different if it was two transgender women competing against each other. Then one can win and it's fair. But not in this particular situation where there was a true natural born woman and then a person that chose to change themselves physically into a woman. That's completely two different things. The physical appearance alone told you that. This person was like 2 times bigger than both of these women. That's the first thing. Now, if you don't want to talk about the obvious and what you can see, let's talk about the chromosomes. The chromosomes are what they are, XY and XX. You can't change that. How do you allow for there to be a competition between the two and call it fair or even when it's not XX against XX or XY against XY? You still have an XY against an XX. I don't understand. Anyways, if anybody can help me connect those dots, please leave comments and all of that and what you think so that I can read it. Because again, I'm not connecting the dots. I'm not understanding how you can allow something like that to occur. That's just my opinion. Those are just my 2 cents on these topics. Because as the world changes, people are changing too. And so our system is changing and they're allowing things to happen that they would have never allowed. I mean, this really started way back in the day when they first woke up one day and said, we are going to take religion out of all schools. Religion, it is something that people don't want, everywhere because, oh, you can't make me be this, you can't make me be that. But what did we start doing by taking religion out of the school? Every single dollar that our United States used had "In God We Trust." But then we take religion out of the schools, okay? And then time goes by and things change and people get braver and smarter and more knowledge and more freedom. And now here we are today with no basic religion, no foundation, no nothing. Like we don't have anything in our system to hold us together, really. I mean, that's just my 2 cents. And we're at war with Russia. And there's other things happening. We're taking down statues so that we won't remember things that happened in the past. We are not allowing teachers to talk about what really happened in the past. We're not allowing teachers to teach our children the different pronouns, his and hers, she and him. We're not allowing teachers to teach our children what they truly are because we're allowing our children to pick and choose what they really want to be. And I mean, it was a good idea, I guess, somewhere, but not really. We're their parents. We're supposed to give them direction. We're supposed to lead them into the right path. We're supposed to tell them. I mean, I don't know. I heard a radio station, NPR News, and they were talking about a woman who was pregnant, and she said she was going to allow her fetus to choose for itself what it was going to be. How do you do that? How do you become pregnant and then allow your fetus to choose what it's going to be? If the fetus comes out a baby without a penis or a baby with a penis, that should tell you what it is. Again, we have to go back to the XYXX chromosome things, right? I mean, genetics does not lie to you. You can change the truth. You can bend the truth. I'm sorry. You can bend the truth. You can dress the truth, you can color the truth, but you can't change the truth. The truth is still true. So when you talk about X, Y, and XX, how do we change that so that we can change ourselves into what we want to be? If I am an XX, how do I change myself to an XY if that's what I want to be? Physically, I know that I can do it because I mean, I can take things to make myself grow a beard and, you know, I can probably get rid of my female parts and all of that because cosmetically we have conquered these milestones in our lives, in our human life. We have conquered these milestones. We can do this now cosmetically. But how do I change the DNA, the genetic makeup, so that I can really be who I want to be? And I mean, let's not just stop there. I'm going to leave you with this last thought. If you can change yourself from a woman to a man or a man into a woman, where do we draw that line to where you can't change yourself from a human to an animal? That is what really scares me because we have a lot of things going on in our world right now, and we don't really define these lines. These are boundaries for people. And sometimes other people cross these boundaries. And it's almost as if we are being forced to be okay with the things that we're not okay with. We have to be okay with these things. Otherwise, we're speaking against someone else, or we're making someone else feel uncomfortable, or we're being ignorant ourselves. But that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to explain that we are not like you. We're still holding on to our stuff. And I'm saying you, like if someone's watching me, but we're not the same. Everyone's different. And if that's the case, then why are we not recognized anymore? Like it's almost like we're being forced to not be normal. And I hate to say normal because this is not normal. Like what we're doing right now is just not normal. I really think that what you do in your personal time to yourself or to other people or with yourself or with other people, that's your personal business. Keep it personal. Keep it personal. Keep it personal. I try to keep mine personal. And I know it's hard, very hard. We like to share who we love. We like to share what we do. We like to share all our happy moments, our joyful moments. And some of us even like to share our bad moments, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. But where do you draw that line? Where is that boundary that you're not going to cross? Do you have one? Or do you even look at your neighbor and be like, well, I know that that person's not really into today's living, I don't know, way. Let me respect their boundary. I think we don't even do that anymore, like we're running around here just doing whatever we want and changing whatever we want because we have freedom. And to me, it just seems like it's way too much freedom, way too much freedom. And it's crazy to watch our own government not just feed into this, but like open it up, for us. And I'm not saying that we don't have room for our LGBTQ community or anything like that. We do. But there's a place and a time for everything. There's a way to do things. And it just seems like right now our world is on fire because of what we're choosing to do and the way we're choosing to do it. And we're just out and like just just throwing it out there, like just letting everybody just see us in chaos right now. That's how I feel. Like our United States is just so confused. We're almost having a civil war in Texas. We're having a war in Russia. I mean, Mexico and the United States have been going at it for centuries, like years and years and years, decades, just a long time. And what is happening in the United States right now? Like, what are we doing as people right now? Besides worrying about who's sleeping with whom or who's wearing pants or who's turning into a woman. Like, I don't even think those things are important. Because at the end of the day, when that war reaches your back door, you're not going to be worried about your neighbor or who they're sleeping with or what they're doing. Or what are they, men, women, what? And the most confusing part for me is going to be like, well, when they're in our backyard and they're dropping bombs or some shit like that, or we're really having a full blown war. Who are they going to send to fight this war? Are you going to accept everybody now? Because we do have everybody in our army, right? But are you going to allow for men to dress up as women soldiers too? Like, does that happen? And then how do you keep records of everyone? And then what are you going to do? Like, it's just going to be so confusing. We can't just do what we want. We have to remember that there's boundaries. I mean, where do you set those boundaries at? And when do you start to really look at what line you crossed? And I say it that way because there's just so many people that might get insulted, but I'm not trying to insult anyone. I'm just saying we have boundaries. Just like I got to respect your boundaries. How come it seems to not be a thing to respect a heterosexual's boundaries or an old fashioned's boundaries or a woman's boundaries, a true natural born woman? It's crazy. You know, it's crazy, guys. Think about this. It's crazy when you guys have somebody in charge of you in a system and you ask them, what is a woman? And they have no true definition for it. That's crazy. I am not trying to sound hateful. I am not hateful. I'm just asking the questions that people are afraid to ask right now because our world is changing. And I'm talking about the things that people are afraid to talk about because we're afraid. We're afraid to insult someone. We're afraid to make mistakes like that. We're afraid to say something wrong. We're afraid to get canceled. We're afraid. And it makes me mad that a man can turn himself into a woman after being damn near the perfect man. And then you win the Best Woman of the Year award.
Hey, Mama.
Like, damn it. Should have gave that to a woman, a natural born woman. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you leave me your 2 cents. Give me your opinion. Please don't hate me because I don't hate anyone. I'm just trying to state my opinion on this and get you thinking about something, you know? Boundaries. Think. Food for thought. Thanks for watching. See you later.